Good evening, everyone. My name is Tom Parker, and I serve on the Zeeland Area Action Committee steering team. On behalf of Zach, I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. I also want to give a special welcome to the League of Women Voters of the Holland area, who kindly agreed to host this forum when we reached out to them. As we gather tonight, we are mindful of the significance of this date. We remember the many lives lost on September 11th, 2001, and the families and loved ones who continue to carry that loss. In their honor, I invite all of us to pause for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. At this time, it's my privilege to introduce the President of the League of Women Voters, Rose Southard.
Tom was working at a handicap without the mic on. Sorry. Hopefully everybody heard that. Thank you, Tom, and thank you to the Zeeland Area Action Committee for inviting us to do this and bringing us to our attention. We appreciate your engaging with us. I am Rose Southard. I'm the president of the Holland Area League of Women Voters. Thank you for attending this evening's forum. We're competing with a beautiful day out there, so I appreciate that you're here and that you're all very interested in your local issues. Thank you to the candidates for taking time to do the forum. We do these forums because they align with one of the League's major missions, and that is to provide information to voters so that they can make informed decisions. We love seeing people like you here who care about your local issues, so thank you again for being here. The League of Women Voters is strictly a non-partisan organization that has worked to inform voters and encourage active civic engagement for over 100 years. The League never supports or opposes any candidate. For more information about the League, including membership, please visit lwvholland.org or grab a brochure out on the table. Statements expressed by the candidates are not endorsed or opposed by the League. Also, the League does not certify any candidate responses to be accurate. Voters are encouraged to fact-check information shared at the forum. This forum was organized by our Voter Services Chairs, Jan Dahlman and Anna Perez. Several of our volunteers are here helping, and thank you to all of you. Our moderator is Penny Schuff. Our timekeeper is Gloria Goodwin. Questions for the candidates have been submitted by the public and League members, and there are still opportunity to submit questions. If you have a question, that somebody will bring you a piece of paper to write on. And now please turn off your cell phones and any other electronic communication devices. No cameras or recorders are permitted other than those authorized by the League. This program will be recorded and available for viewing a few days after on our YouTube channel. The link to our YouTube channel is on our website. Just look for the YouTube icon on the upper left-hand corner of any page. The video is property of the League of Women Voters Holland area. Neither video nor audio clips may be copied, edited, or used for any political advertising or other purposes. We ask members of the audience to please listen respectfully and to refrain from any comments or reactions as the candidates are speaking. There will be an opportunity to applaud the candidates at the end of the forum. Our moderator, Penny Schuff, will now introduce each candidate, outline the format, review the rules, and lead tonight's forum. Penny?
Don't go that way.
Good evening. Yes, my name is Penny Schuff, and I've been a member of the League of Women Voters for many years, and I live in Holland. It's a strict rule that the person who moderates any forum does not reside in the place or have any skin in the game. Just that's important. So it's my pleasure to introduce these candidates that are running for the Zeeland City Council. This is in alphabetical order. They are Andrew Bult, Kylee DeBoer, Ericka Humbert, Kass, Amy Langeland, and Rebecca Perkins. All the candidates were invited, and we thank them for participating in tonight's forum. The candidates have received the rules of the forum in advance, so they were familiar with that. All the candidates will have a 2-minute opening statement. A question and answer period will then follow. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond to each question, and each candidate will have a 2-minute closing statement at the end of the forum. Our timer, Gloria, will show a warning when 30 seconds remains. Nice purple. When the stop card is shown, the candidate must end his or her speaking. And I will try not to, everybody's so, this is Zeeland, we're all very, respectful, of course. But I will reserve the right to be like, the card is up and we need to, wrap it up. Or be really strict with that. The order of who speaks first, second, and third will be determined initially by alphabetical order as we are sitting, by last name, but then it will rotate onward. That can get a little tricky, but I have a grid, so I keep track of who is in first each time. Questions have been posed by the audience, as we said, our league website, contribution as well as Facebook. When the questions are directed to one candidate, that same question will be asked of all of them. There will be no questions, though, of a personal nature. So if it's an issue that seems directed to some, you'll all get an opportunity. I also reserve the right to interrupt, I've said, if a candidate is straying from the subject or engaging in a personal attack, which I don't anticipate. The audience, please refrain from applauding, though, or demonstrating any positive or negative to an answer. That's really important. No camera or videotaping is also allowed. The league, if you want to see something and look at it again, you'll have to go to our YouTube page. Look. But we prefer that you not do that here. That's another reason why we want your cell phones to be turned off, so it's not a distraction for anybody, as well as the candidates. So, as a courtesy, check the phones, and I think we're done with the list. So, let me begin. Andrew Bult, you have a 2-minute opening statement. Oh, you know what? Should I have him do it? Yes, go ahead, and then I have a statement for Kylee. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay. All right. Is my microphone on? Do I need to?
Oh, you might want to check those 3 mics.
All right. There we go. So I live in the world of healthcare, so I live in shorthand, so I'll keep this short and sweet. Just thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. My name is Andrew Bult, and I'm honored to be running for City Council in Zeeland. I'm here because I believe our community deserves thoughtful leadership that listens, works hard, and makes decisions with the best interest of our residents at heart. I bring the experience of being a business leader here in town, where I serve Zeeland residents daily. At my company, we have what we refer to as our dozen. This is a set of principles that we live by and work by. I believe the same principles that apply to successful business also apply to successful government. Some of those include to live a God-centered life, create relationships, promote growth, embrace change, be transparent, act with honesty and integrity, stay humble, and be efficient. I want to ensure by these principles, our city continues to grow in a way that is safe, sustainable, and maintains what has made Zeeland so great to live. Tonight, I look forward to sharing my vision for strong neighborhoods, thriving local economy, a responsive government, and most importantly, to understand community needs.
Thank you. The next in alphabetical order is Kylee DeBoer, who is not able to attend today, so as part of the league's rules, I will read this statement. My name is Kylee DeBoer, and I have lived in Zeeland the majority of my life, graduating from Zeeland and going down the road to Hope College, and I love this town. Thank you for allowing all the candidates to be part of this forum. I apologize that I am not there in person. I am married, but single parenting right now, and cannot get my 2 girls to their 3 after-school activities at the same time. What an opportunity to be in a community that cares and wants to hear from each candidate on different issues. I believe the current council and city has done a great job making our community welcoming and safe for all ages. They have set a great foundation for the future council to build on. I may be one of the amateur candidates and know the learning curve will be steep, but would have great fellow mentors of current city council members to help me serve the city best. I believe the city needs to work together as a nonpartisan group to best serve the residents. The Ericka expansion is a significant concern for many residents who are directly affected by the expansion. Meade Johnson Ericka has been in the community for many years. They provide a significant tax base for the city, thereby lowering taxes for residents. I think there are ways that could be discussed that would allow an expansion without coming further into the residential part of the city. With Howard Miller closing at the end of the year, could their building industrial space be used for this expansion? Could we look at other land that is still within the city but doesn't directly impact residents? I look forward to meeting more people through this process, and please reach out if you have any questions. Thank you for an amazing night. Kylee DeBoer. Okay, now Ericka.
Is this on?
Hi everyone. First, I just want to thank the League of Women's Voters and Zach for giving us this wonderful opportunity, and for all of you for being here. My name is Ericka Humbert, and I have lived in Zeeland nearly my whole life. I'm a proud graduate of Zeeland East and Kelvin University. I currently work as a freelance marketing and communications specialist, but previously worked at West Michigan companies Ventura, Amway, and Miller Knoll. My husband and I have 2 little boys who can frequently be found at the library, our local quirks, or the train table at Out of the Box, and I also volunteer for the Zeeland Historical Society. I believe I have what it takes to represent our community as a councilwoman due to my perspective of being a lifelong resident paired with my professional background in research, strategy, and communication. I have been attending council meetings since the beginning of the year, observing time and time again the importance of not necessarily being an expert on every issue or conversation, but rather upholding a commitment to listening, asking good questions, and making sure enough time is dedicated to ensure decisions are made thoughtfully. My entire career has been built on my ability to make sure the right people are in the room, all perspectives are considered, there's thorough research to support conclusions, and information is readily accessible and easy to understand. As a councilwoman, you can count on me to make sure we are prioritizing investments that help make Zeeland a desirable place for families, business owners, and visitors, and work hard to remove barriers and set goals that are future forward, preparing our city for growth. I want to continue the legacy our current council has built on fiscal responsibility, support for our fire and police teams, and reinvigorating downtown, while seeking to improve how data, research, and conversation is used to inform decision-making. Zeeland will continue to grow and change, but I believe your council plays a vital role in ensuring it does so without losing its people-centered heart. What separates great leadership from good is not what you do, but how you do it. It would be an honor to serve my community in this way.
Kass.
So, thank you to the league and to Zach for putting this on. My name is Kass. I am 59 years old. I grew up in the Cutlerville-Byron Center area, graduated from South Christian High School, went on to Kelvin College at the time, now university, earned my political science degree, decided not to go to grad school, fell into retail. Retail brought me to Zeeland. It's where I met my wife. Bought a home here in '98 and got married in '99. We raised 2 children here. My daughter is 22, graduated from Michigan Tech, and is currently a grad school at Michigan Tech. My son is 19, he works in downtown Zeeland. It took all of about a year of me living here to know this is where I wanted to be, where I wanted to raise my family. It was 2003. I had the pleasure of being appointed to the Planning Commission. 2009, I was honored to be elected to City Council for the first time. I've been on City Council now for 16 years. I have had numerous experiences collaborating with people that may or may not disagree with me. And I'm looking forward to continuing the work that this council and previous councils has done.
Okay, Amy Langeland.
Hello, my name is Amy Langeland. I'm a librarian for Heritage Christian School, which serves kindergarten through 8th grade. Previously, my background is in finance. I worked for many years at Prince Johnson Controls as an account financial manager. I graduated from Calvin College with a double major in French and German and a minor in business. I completed my master's in business from Grand Valley. I'm married to Mike Langeland for the past 30 years. We have 4 children. If you know him, you know I look up to him each and every day in more ways than one. I have volunteered and served in the city for the past 30 years, most recently on the Cemetery and Parks Committee. I've been involved in the master plans of the parks, and I am excited to apply my skills to serve on the Zeeland City Council.
Okay, Rebecca Perkins.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Perkins, and I'm proud to have called Zeeland home for more than 20 years. My husband and I met at Franklin College just outside of Indianapolis, where I earned a degree in education and taught middle school for 3 years. We moved to West Michigan for my husband's job, where we thought we would stay here for just a couple of years and then return back to the Indianapolis area. And here we are, 25 years later. But finding Zeeland, just such a gem of a community that we ended up finding and have made our home. I've had the opportunity for the past 23 years to work in real estate, serving families and businesses throughout Zeeland and the Lakeshore area, which has helped me gain a deep appreciation of our community. I've also had the privilege of working alongside City Council, commissioners, the dedicated staff for our city. They're doing amazing things. You can't believe how much they genuinely care about our city. They're open-minded and thoughtful in their decisions that they make. You can see the teamwork amongst them, and I want to be part of that. We've raised our 2 children here who attend Cityside and Zeeland East High School. I serve on Zeeland Planning Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals, and previously served on the Board of Review. I completed Zeeland Citizens Academy, which what a fantastic experience. It helped me understand how the city operates. I'm running for City Council because I believe in Zeeland's future. My priorities are listening, supporting small businesses, and addressing housing challenges. I love this city. I want to continue serving our wonderful, charming, and desirable community by helping Zeeland grow responsibly, thoughtfully, while preserving the uniqueness of our special Zeeland. When you head to the polls, I ask for your support, and I hope you plan on Perkins. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so the first question, and it will be for Andrew Bult, and it's pretty simple. What ways have you served Zeeland in the past?
So my wife and I moved to Zeeland 4 years ago now. My parents moved here just before that. My wife has always wanted to live in downtown Zeeland, a cute little house, and so that's where we ended up. I think the way that I've served Zeeland best so far, as I mentioned, is in my business. I'm a physical therapist at Hall Steps and Physical Therapy. We opened that in 2022. And we've grown tremendously since then. I want to say we started with a week of 21 patients, and we're up to 280, I want to say, this week. And so it's been an absolute blessing to serve Zeeland residents on a daily basis that come through our doors in pain, hurting, looking for some help basically in their health care. And I've gotten to know a lot of people that way. It's kind of what pushed me to run for City Council, is hearing everybody, talk about the city, what's going on, restaurants, events, what's happening on city council, what's happening with Meade Johnson. It's just been a great experience to get to know the community, hear what they have to say, and then to hear what people want out of someone in city council. But I believe that serving people in healthcare has been a great way to also just serve the citizens of Zeeland.
And feel free, if this isn't a good example, but if you need me to restate the question, I'm happy to do that. In what ways have you served Zeeland in the past? This is for Ericka Humbert.
I think one of the most invaluable experiences I've had has been serving for the Zeeland Historical Society, which, shameless plug, there's a home tour this weekend, so y'all, if you haven't bought tickets yet, you should absolutely sign up. It is incredible what they do for the size of town that we have. Most towns do not have historical societies that are as organized and put together as ours, and I think it's important to be able to look back at where our city has been in order to look at where it's going to go in the future, because Zeeland is so much more than just the buildings and the streets. It's the people, and the type of people that we have here are amazing, and you see just a history of great leadership. And yeah, I just really enjoyed serving there and getting to know the history of Zeeland, and yeah, trying to think about how we might be able to preserve it for the future, because it's been a great place to live.
So where do I start on this one? All I've done, I have a proven track record of service to this community. 6 years on Planning Commission prior to being elected to council, 16 years on council. Every first and third Monday for the last 16 years I've been across the parking lot at City Hall. Served on numerous different committees, from Max Bus Authority to the Snow Melt Committee, so many more. In 2017, I was reappointed as the council liaison to the Planning Commission. Service is about, it's who I am, and it's what everyone on that council believes. It's serving the citizens of this community. And I know everyone else up here feels the same way. So I'm looking forward to continuing to serve in whatever capacity that is in the future.
If you didn't know, my husband is a part owner at Funeral Home and Langeland Sternberg Funeral Home in Holland, and we have served the community in that industry for the past 30 years. Myself, in 1994, when I moved into this town, I knew nothing, I knew no one, and Mary Bowens invited me to participate in the compensation committee. So from the very first month that I've moved here 30 years ago, I have served in a capacity as a volunteer for the city. From there, I went to the Zeeland Historical Society, where I served as president of the board. I was part of purchasing the new Groningen Historic Schoolhouse. I managed the rentals there, and there I met Greg Chandler, did many press releases. I raised the money for the renovation there, and I handed it off in good hands. And then I joined the Cemetery and Parks Committee in 2009. So I have served, I've loved every moment and every person. It's become my new hometown.
Ways that I have served in our city. I had mentioned a few of these in my opening remarks, but I currently serve on Planning Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals. I have been on the Board of Review, which is regarding taxes. And I completed the Zeeland Citizens Academy, which was a 6-week course. Very interesting. You learn so much about the city and its departments, and you just can't believe how much the people, the staff, the departments love their job and how proud they are of our community, it makes me want to be more a part of it. I have been a realtor for 23 years, so I have sold many homes in the city of Zeeland, and it's fun to see clients out and about in our great community. I also, Ericka was talking about the Historical Home Society. I have been one of those homeowners that have also had my home in the historical home parade. And I was telling Ericka, I was 8 months pregnant at that time. That was many years ago. But what a great thing that they're able to do for our city. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So this next question, we will start with Ericka. And it is pretty simple too. Have you been to a Zeeland City Council meeting? None, a few times, or many times? And what has impressed you, and what did you learn about the job if you have been to a City Council meeting?
I was just joking with Glenn about this before. I have been regularly attending council meetings since the beginning of the year. I took a short break to have baby, but I think that gets a pass. But I don't even know where to start. What I've learned, it's been an incredible experience. I think honestly, when I walk in that room and I see, sometimes there's not very many people there, and I'm so disappointed because it's so important. Every decision, from the big ones, obviously there's been some this year that have gotten some more attention than others, but it really does matter because if a street light suddenly stops working, that's going to cause a massive issue, and this is the group that votes whether we fix those or not. So I think every decision, small to big, deserves a lot of forethought, and I've just been very impressed with how much the council thinks before they make decisions. I do feel sometimes that there could be more discussion, and that's where I think with my background in communication and research and data, I'd like to see a little bit more of that baked into how some of the decisions are made, especially knowing they're going to be working on the master plan sometime this year. But yeah, it's been invaluable for me. I don't think I could be up here saying that I'd be a good candidate if I hadn't gone to most, if not all of them up until this point. Because yeah, when you're applying for a job, right, you want to know what they're working on and what kinds of things you're going to be involved in. So it's been invaluable for me, and I've really enjoyed getting to know the current council. So it'd be an honor to serve alongside them.
So I see another council member in the audience, and she can tell you that even before I was on planning commission, I showed up to council meetings. I was kind of a thorn in their side for a while. So attending council meetings, and like Ericka said, I mean, if you want to be involved, because we are not yet in the YouTube realm of putting our council meetings on YouTube, which is something that I've been pushing for the last 3 years or so, when these small towns in Alabama and Mississippi and New Jersey can put them on YouTube. There's no reason why we can't. That will help with some transparency questions that some residents may have. But no, for the last 16 years, I think my attendance rate has probably been second to none. We'll miss for a vacation or a sick kid or something like that on occasion, but dedication is a very important component to being on city council. If you're just going to show up and vote yes, you need to put in the effort. So I like having people show up to city council to get a knowledge base, because even serving on planning commission for those first 6 years, there is a learning curve when it comes to council. There's so many things that are already in the works. you need to have that information. Thank you.
So for the past 30 years, I've been very involved in the city. One thing that our city has that almost no other one does is we have the Zeeland Record. The Zeeland Record publishes the minutes of the meeting and what goes on, and I have read that for 30 years. And from Mayor Holland to Mayor Kleinsta to Mayor-elect Rickmendorf, they know when something happens, you don't always need to be there. You can send an email or you may call them, and they are very involved. I have been at city council meetings to protest things, from the Gentex expansion, which closed the road, to things that I've been there to praise things about and thank them. I've been involved, and I'm aware. I've been invited to do things when Mayor Hoagland was a mayor. I've done joint receptions with him when we had the Netherlands contingency out. I've been very involved in separate meetings, so you didn't always need to be at the meeting to know what was happening in the town.
I have attended a number of meetings for city council. I would say mostly this year I've attended more, and it is eye-opening. And you know, being on planning commission and knowing, you know, some of our decisions goes up to city council, and it's good to see, you know, just the different personalities, the different backgrounds, and it also makes you think, is this what I want to be part of? Can I work with these people? And I can, and I want to. And I think our city council is great. I think they all have a huge heart for Zeeland, and I do think that they're in it for the right reasons. I think that it just gives you, attending these meetings just gives you a better understanding of what's happening, and there are so many decisions that get made, big and small, that you would never have thought of. I remember one of them was just the cost of a fire truck that they had been planning for a number of years on their rotation, and having to make that decision and which one, and of course they lean on the department, the fire department, to help make that decision. But even decisions like that is like, I never thought that would be one of the decisions they have to make, but you know, just going and learning has been really good.
I'm just happy to not have to go first on this one. I wasn't 100% sure and dead set on running for city council to begin with. I got somewhat peer pressured by the mayor, and then started to attend some meetings. And as weird as it sounds and corny as it sounds, I thought they were actually kind of fun. It was fun to see just the collaboration of all of the commissions and the BPW coming to city council, laying out their framework, the deliberation of city council, the comments by the community. It was evident that everyone who was at those council meetings, whether leading them or just attending, having something to say, cared deeply about Zeeland. I think that's something that can be said for everyone up here right now, everyone on the current city council. It's the thing I've learned most from this experience so far is just how much everyone actually cares about Zeeland. And that's a blessing to know that we're going to be in good hands regardless of what happens. And from those city council meetings, it's just been an awesome experience to see all of the people come together to make what has made Zeeland so great.
Thank you. Okay, this third question is for, we'll start with Glenn Kass. And it is, what qualifies you to be a council person? And how many hours per week do you have available to dedicate to the job?
What qualifies me is been there, done that. 16 years on council, 6 years on planning commission before that. I think I've proven my level of service, my level of dedication. it's really, the qualifications speak for themselves. I'm an ordinary everyday guy. I just work retail. But I think having that perspective too goes a long way, because I know a lot more people that are closer to being homeless than what they are to being homeowners, just because of the nature of the business. I think having that perspective is very important. It's something that needs to be said, needs to be heard. And I'm looking forward to continuing to move Zeeland forward over the next 4 years, if I am so fortunate to be reelected. Thank you.
Could you repeat the question?
Of course. What qualifies you to be a city council person, and how many hours per week do you have available to dedicate to the job?
I have as many hours as the job needs to be done. I'm available, and it would be part of my priority. My qualifications, my background, not just my academic background, but I'm an honest, hardworking, trustworthy, transparent person. I know many people in town. People feel free to contact me. I've already, in the job as serving on the Commission for Parks and Cemetery, people and neighbors have asked me questions that I have brought to our meetings and taken care of small, certain issues. So when people feel free to come up to you and trust you to take care of something, I feel that's a honest trait and a characteristic that's needed.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I hate to keep repeating it, but my experience being on Planning Commission and Board of Review, and also having been in the real estate industry for 23 years, I think has given me a good background for serving on City Council. Also, in real estate, I have also served on the board of Realtors, the West Michigan Lakeshore Board of Realtors, which has 1,200 members. And you just have to put on a different hat, and you're not just for your real estate company or yourself. You are looking at things for the greater good and all of the members that is involved, and that is very similar to City Council, where you are looking at the entire city and all of the residents, and not just you or your neighbors or your block. So I think that that's important, and I think just my background in education and being in real estate, it is all about listening and learning, not being afraid to ask questions, and being able to reflect and learn from decisions that you've made. As far as available time, I'm a Realtor, so it is, I work all of the time. So I am used to being flexible. So I have available time.
Also, like Rebecca, kind of repeating what I've said a little bit already, as a business leader, owner in the area, I've grown my practice from 2 employees, almost 20 now, just in this short span of 3 years. So showing sustainable growth, as well as, creating jobs for Zeeland. I think that's what sets me apart a little bit. In terms of time, this is something, that wasn't taken lightly. As a business owner, manager, a young father of a daughter, and then one on the way, we're busy. This is something that my wife and I prayed about, and didn't come to the decision lightly, knowing how much time we'll have to go into this, that is required. This isn't something that I don't think any of us want to come into lightly. This takes a lot of dedication to the city, to the residents, and needs to be given the appropriate time, not only for the council meetings, but all of the work that leads up to it. In terms of what else has I guess, qualified me to run is kind of just what everyone else is standing up here for. I just love Zeeland. I plan on this being my home for a long foreseeable future. It's the home of my business, the home of my family, where we're going to raise our kids, home of my parents. We just love Zeeland. We plan on being here for a long time, and we want to do whatever it takes to keep Zeeland thriving and just such an awesome community.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next question, we will start with
Can I
Amy.
answer the question? Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I
Oh,
don't
I'm
know.
sorry, Rebecca.
Is that okay?
Ericka.
Am I missing you? I'm Rebecca. Ericka Humbert, sorry. God, I
That's okay.
What qualifies you to be a city council person, and how many hours of the week would you be able to dedicate to the job?
One of the things that I've learned from attending the council meetings throughout the year is there are so many different topics that the council covers. Rebecca was talking about the fire truck, was talking about the traffic sign. We talk about flower pots and giant business expansions and what streets are being prioritized. And right now they're talking about so many alcohol sales. You cannot possibly be an expert on everything. And so I think something that I bring to the table is my background in marketing and PR that's my job, is I get given different projects or different topics that I have to dive super deep into in order to come to a conclusion that ultimately drives important decisions that the people are relying on me to be able to back up what I'm saying. A good example of that is at one of my first council meetings, I was asking the council some questions about some concerns, environmental concerns with the Lee Johnson expansion, and I had mentioned a sustainability report that I had read from Reckitt that was 100 pages long, and they asked me if I had read every page, and I did. And part of that was because I had also just come off of a project for a client where I had read probably close to 2,000, if not more, pages of different sustainability reports so that I could give them advice on how to proceed. So that's something that I think that regardless of the topic, the community can count on me to do my research. In terms of availability, I actually took a step back from my 40-hour job when I had our first son so that I could really be able to balance my career and being the mom that I wanted to be, and moving into the world of freelance has given me a ton of flexibility. So I have a lot of flexibility in that area throughout the week. So yeah, I really enjoyed being able to be involved with things that I wasn't able to do when I was working a traditional 40-hour job. And this is something that, my husband and I have prayed a lot about, and feel like even though we have 2 young children, it's something that I'm really passionate about and he wants to support me in. So I have as much time as it takes.
Very nice, thank you. Okay, now, Amy is, Langeland will start this next question. What is Zeeland's greatest addressable weakness and its greatest strength?
I'm going to start with the strengths because we always like to start with the strengths. We've talked about this, it's been mentioned, the strengths are the people. As I have said before, I moved here 30 years ago. 30 years ago, the downtown didn't look like it does today. Today, it is a beautiful, beautiful downtown. The city council has worked so hard. They have hired a marketing director. I remember when Abby DeRue started. We have sat in on meetings, and she now has 4 children. That is, the downtown is under her care, the marketing, and that is done. It's beautiful. The city council is involved. The Mayor Hoagland has really worked on the industrial section of town, and Mayor Kleinstra has followed in that. And today this week, we've had the new announcement of JR Automation putting their headquarters in Zeeland. We have a very beautiful industrial park in our town. We have a strong tax base. We have a strong beautiful home residential section in town. I would say the weakness that we have in our town is affordable housing. When we moved into town, we could afford a house, and I think today that's not an option, but it is not a weakness for just City of Zeeland alone. It's for the entire West Michigan area. That's something I do believe they're already working on. And again, one of the weaknesses, the complaints about parking. 30 years ago, you could find a parking spot in Zeeland, and isn't that a good problem? We can't find parking spots in Zeeland. So that's also something that I think they're working on, and it will be addressed.
I would say for the strength would be the vision that Zeeland has, kind of like Amy said. We moved here a little over 20 years ago, and Zeeland looked very different 20 years ago than it does today. And I also think the team effort that has happened between staff and departments and the people and City Council and Planning Commission all working together to create this vision and to keep that vision in front of them and constantly reevaluate, and when changes happen, continue to refer back to the vision plan. And we are what we are today because of the vision, and people were willing to think outside the box. Man, we have just such a great community. When my family comes to visit, they call it Pleasantville, is where they're visiting, is Pleasantville. I would say one of the weaknesses that we have is we are like a 3 square mile community. We are landlocked, and we do not have a ton of available land for housing, for a ton of infrastructure, which goes to parking. Parking is a very hot button in this community, and I know that the staff is very aware of it, and they are working on it. I think maybe thinking outside the box with that in the future. I believe in the people that are working on behalf of the community to figure out a way. They are very creative, and I think they have very good vision. And I think just continuing that vision is great for Zeeland.
I'm going to start with the weakness because I like ending on a high note. I think a weakness in Zeeland is something that we see also throughout West Michigan, that there is some wealth disparity. I was told by the leader of Harvest Stand that there are 2 groups of people in Zeeland, and Group 1 is very aware of Group 2, and Group 2 is not aware that Group 1 is there. And that's some of the lower income families. So the people with a hard time paying for housing, paying for food. Out of Ottawa County, Zeeland residents actually are the most eligible, have the highest percentage of eligible people for care, for assistance. Sorry, struggling with words there. People in Zeeland and Ottawa County have the highest percentage of people who apply for assistance and qualify for it, which was shocking to me. You know, we all live here and we see how beautiful downtown is and the affluence, and we understand the affluence of West Michigan, but there are also people who are really struggling. However, the positive of this is that we have places like Harvest Stand, a food bank, a clothing bank for Zeeland residents specifically. We have places like Hand to Hand Ministries, where my wife works, who are leading food programs for the residents of Zeeland. We have people in City Council who truly care about the residents, some who are still on City Council, who have dedicated their lives to bringing up Zeeland to making it a better place to live, to make it more sustainable, more thriving. Abby was already mentioned with the marketing. Zeeland is not what it was 10 years ago. It is so much further along. Sally for creating this space that we're in right now in the library, or community center. So the people, again, the dedicated people of Zeeland are what make Zeeland so awesome and such a great strength.
I think that Zeeland's strength and weakness, or addressable weakness, I'm actually going to go through the same thing, which is growth. I actually have a diary entry from when I was in middle school. I don't want to reveal too much about my age, but I was in middle school when they launched the Feel the Zeal campaign, and it struck me so deeply that I actually thought to write about it along, all my thoughts about boys and stressing about tests and studying and things. And it deeply impacted me. And I don't think that if I could go back and tell my middle school self what that campaign was going to represent and all that it's embodied through, even during COVID, I know we don't want to think too much about that time, but to think that our downtown was able to survive and the different things that came about because of that, with the little hearts in the windows. Like we live in an incredible town and people care very deeply, and I've just seen with, just the different events that have come about, it's a great place to be. I also think like in high school, I didn't think I was going to end up in Zeeland, and now I can't picture myself anywhere else. And it's the dedication of our leadership to try to make this town a place that people want to be. On the flip side of that, though, we are in a place of momentum. We have a lot of great things going for us, but I think we have to be really careful because as we grow, there's a risk of spreading ourselves too thin, or, again, with how we invest our money. And as others have said, we don't have a lot of land to work with. So I think that with the Meade Johnson expansion, I would have really loved to see the updated master plan prior to that decision because it did go against the 2011 and 2020 plan. So I think, again, I'd really like to see more when it comes to planning and, yeah.
So if we want to talk about weaknesses, I'll put it like this. There's things we can do better as a city council. I think one of the things that we can do better is we can communicate better to the residents. And I think with everything that happened on the east side with Meade Johnson, there was some questions about our transparency. And I've always been, please call me, please email me. That information is readily available for all the council members on our website. But I pledge to everyone that I will be open and honest and have communication and dialogue with anyone about anything. Our strengths, we have the second lowest millage rate in Ottawa County. We have a